Now, there are some raid gold farms that I truly love doing, especially when it comes towards time efficiency and also the amount of items gathered for my initial time. Therefore, I would like to explore today the Molten Core. Let us begin. Okay, so within the Blackrock Mountain, which can either be got to by either going through the Burning Steppe or also the Searing Gorge, what you're going to be wanting to do is make your way over to the bottom side of the chains of the big rock that's in the middle of the zone and speak to Lorthos, Riftwalker. What you're going to be wanting to do here is ask him to teleport you into this dungeon. Now, I will hastily suggest you guys to even use this as for farming, as what we're going to be wanting to do is pull up Worth It Recorder, reset it, and press play. What we're going to be doing is the trash farm for this actual raid. However, you can always do a full clear, as the last boss, Ragnaros, has a 0.2% chance to drop the Orb of Deception from this. I would highly recommend doing this gold farm just overall, and in general I find this to be a great way in order to make a decent amount of gold through transmog, as it has a high drop chance for all of the old world tier set pieces, which are the belts and the braces for all of the tier sets for this raid. Therefore, I would actually go on to state that the Blood of the Mountain can drop from the Molten Destroyers, which can also be sold on the auction house, and this can be used in conjunction with the Dark Iron Ore farm, where you can actually farm this for a good chunk of gold as well as all of that. So you can double this up. If I was to suggest a way of doing this, if you wanted to do a full clear as well, is I would do 9 runs of this raid, and then on the final 10th run doing the full clear. Why would you do this 9 times? Especially if you have a speed set, so make sure that you have enough time within the hour. I would farm up all of the trash mobs within there, mine all of the Dark Iron Ore, gain all of the Blood of the Mountain, then do my full clear. The full clear doesn't take on all that great amount of time. It takes roughly around about 15 minutes, a little bit more time than I would like, but therefore it is just a little bit longer than doing the Blackwing layer. So you could do both at the same time and have a 0.2% chance twice for the Orb of Deception as well. This depends if you want to actually go for that, and or if you don't want to do that, you can always go for the additional way of doing it, which is the trash farming for this actual raid. Most of the bosses are pretty straightforward, and the only other thing for this raid is that the Golemag, the incinerator, has a chance of dropping the sulfuron ingot, which is used in some crafts, as well as also it is used in order to gain reputation, and is also used to get hold of the blacksmithing plans, which are a one-time gold farm within the Grim Guzzler within the dungeon the Blackrock Depths, which any blacksmith can purchase this, or any character can purchase the plans for 1 sulfuron ingot, and it can be gained at any level you want. So therefore you can also sell those plans on the auction house for a reasonable chunk of gold, as not many people still remember how to get a hold of these plans, and therefore if you actually just sell the plans by using one of your basic backup characters, you can actually make some additional gold along with this farm as well. The BOEs and transmog do vary on your runs, so sometimes you can get lucky. It's very heavily RNG based, but overall you can also sell the lava cores and the fiery cores for additional gold. However, I would actually go on to state that this is how I also got my legendary item last year of the Sulfuros Hand of Ragnaros, where it finally dropped the Eye of Sulfuros. You have no idea how happy I was, and I managed to get it on my druid, which made my actual day. I also actually got a hold, I'm going to gloat here, and I also got a hold of my other binding for the Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. However, my character cannot use it because I got it on my priest. However, I got it on a character that actually cannot use the actual item, and therefore it is just sat in their bags as a small remembrance of how unlucky I can get with our RNG, and how also lucky I can be with RNG alongside all of that. If you are going for this in the full run, this is probably a nice way of actually farming out some transmog for yourself as well as other people to sell on the auction house. Just bear in mind the Blood of the Mountain is a great material in order to sell, and it derives its value due to the fact of it being used in a lot of multiple craft, as well as being used to gain reputation with a thorium brotherhood, which also that is another reason why the fiery cores and the lava cores go for a decent amount of gold as well, especially as it's an old world material that isn't used for an awful lot anymore. Along with that, if we go into worth it, we can also go down to battle pets and go into raid pets, and we can find the molten core within it. If we go into here, we will actually find that we can get a few battle pets from this actual raid, which is the ashstone core, as well as the core fire imp and the harbinger of flame. These battle pets don't go for an awful lot of gold, however, so you may want to value this into your own experiences just to be on the safe side as all of that. I typically find that the transmog pieces for the tier sets tend to sell relatively fast, especially as it is an old world transmog, but overall I find this to be a great way in order to just pad out my auction house, gain a few materials that sell for a decent amount of gold, and overall gain a decent chunk of gold in the long run. Other than that, guys, if you want to check out the 60 days of gold farming that we're doing, this is in celebration of the release of my game Void, which in conjunction has also been released on Steam, and thus please feel free to check it out, as it is literally going for a cup of coffee to help my coffee addiction. Other than that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.